Welcome to Facilitating Change, the podcast that celebrates the dedicated staff who make safety and innovation possible every single day in facilities management. I'm your host, Dr. Adrian Carter, and in each episode, we bring you the stories, the journeys, and the passion of the people who are transforming spaces and building the future of UW. Whether it's managing massive capital projects, maintaining campus operations, or leading sustainable initiatives, these are the change makers driving excellence behind the scenes. This is Facilitating Change, humbly presented by the Fair Coalition of the University of Washington Facilities. Let's get into it. Today we're joined by Jonathan Pruitt. How are you doing, Jonathan?
Doing great. How are you doing, Dr. Carter?
I'm doing well. Thank you for being here. How tall are you?
I'm like 6'2"-ish without shoes.
Without shoes, right?
Yeah.
Do you get you should be playing some kind of athletic sport?
Not quite, but I do get a lot of how tall are you?
Okay. Any supermodel comments about the job that you should be doing as a supermodel? No?
No, just helping a lot of short people at the grocery store.
Can you get that from the top shelf? That's funny. That's a worthy cause. So congratulations to you for the community service that you've been doing with getting things off the higher shelves for people at the grocery store. Jonathan, tell us about who you are, the role you play here at UW Facilities, and what does a typical day look like for you?
I'm a data analyst supporting the engineering services at UW Facilities. And my role, I am there to work with the engineers and facilitate their needs by wrangling data or collecting data. For example, right now I'm working with the environmental engineer. Her name's Jekka. And with her, I'm basically wrangling data, collecting how much energy we're using for all our different buildings, and then producing it in a format that she can use for her reporting for like carbon emissions and other initiatives.
How did you get into the data analyst field?
I've just been doing a lot of different jobs, trying to figure out what works for me in each job, and just been like whittling it down until it's like, oh, data. I love data. I got to work on this really cool project in college. Shout out to Western Washington University. Dr. Rice works on the Mars rovers, and I was doing a mapping project on Mars. I was like, this is so cool, but I had a horrible time with it because it wasn't data exactly. It was data collection, but I wasn't actually working with spreadsheets of data or anything.
And when you say Mars, you're talking the actual planet, not the candy bar.
Right, yeah.
So you're working on a project where there's a rover on Mars.
Right. It was for the landing site for the Mars 2020 that is there now. They were holding a committee and everyone was submitting where they think the rover should go. Okay. And so I was working with her on their site, which was the Eberswalde crater. And so I was examining features there to see, are they good science features that if we land there, will it be good content and will it be good data?
Okay. Do you mind if I ask how old are you?
I know. I'm 34.
Now, why did you have to think about that so long?
I'm just nervous. In my mind, I still think I'm like a 20-year-old.
I get it.
No, I'm getting older.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. That is so funny. So you discovered through your process that you really like data. What I find very interesting in that is increasingly across industries, the conversations about being data-driven as a terminology for probably say about the past 15 years in terms of the increased use of the term and how much more driven we've become in. We need to be more data-driven. Have you observed that transition or that growth in the use of that term and how much more focused we are as a data-driven society?
Yeah, I would say I observe it more like in the news. It also really depends on which industry you're in. So I worked in the materials testing industry. So we're talking like asphalt, concrete, that kind of stuff. And I was a lab technician. So the data there was just data-driven decisions weren't really a thing just based on the quality of the material. But then I worked at Google Maps. I worked on Google Maps for 2 years as a contractor. And there, your quality of your job was determined by data. They have all these key performance indicators that are all data-based. How many clicks do you do? How many features do you edit? All these different ways to measure your quality as a worker.
So you've gone from working on mapping Mars to also mapping Earth. That's what I just heard.
My job history, I always thought I was a horrible worker, but because my resume is like all these great jobs sprinkled with like pizza delivery or Amazon delivery in between.
Love it. That is great.
Like a short rundown is my first adult job I was National Guard, and I was a human intelligence collector. So I ran interrogations and source operations. Then I went to college, did Mars mapping. Then I delivered pizza, McKay's Tap House in Bellingham. And then I went to the lab industry and worked for materials for 4 years. And then I delivered Amazon for like a year.
It's like Jonathan's Secretary of State for a few years and then Lyft driver.
Got to keep in touch with the people.
I love it, right? That is a great way to look at it. Got to remain in touch with the people. That is such a wide-ranging, dynamic experience. I think all of that makes you who you are.
Oh, yeah.
How does that background, that illustrious, right, background, how does that shape how you do work here at facilities?
That's a good question. It keeps me grounded. I think a lot of jobs in the past, I was focused about being a good worker. But now I kind of understand that it's not about being a good worker. It's about getting the job done. It's about what impact I actually have. So that translates to me being like my position, I have some autonomy in choosing what I work on. And that means that I need to make decisions about what projects to focus on based on their outcomes. Will helping facilitate this map have an impact on the engineers and help them in their work to do what they do, which I don't entirely know, but
what I'm hearing you saying is this is your thought process. You've evolved into this thought process of not just being a good worker, but what does it mean to be effective and have impact, right? What caused that shift?
I would say learning the bigger picture of each job. I've learned in my family, we all have strong opinions. We all think we know what's best. And when you're the pizza delivery driver, you can't really tell the small business owner how to run his business, but you can work within the confines of your position to make the place better and learn how to communicate ideas and concepts to those around you to make improvements, but also not be upset when they don't take those improvement ideas.
Balance.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. You sound like a 34-year-old shaman or monk. This is great wisdom here that we're getting. I love it. I love it. How would your friends describe you? How would your best friend or a really close friend describe you?
Really friendly and caring and always joking around.
Okay.
I've learned to not joke around a lot on the job. The military doesn't really like that.
That's really cracking me up. Because you've had these very serious roles, right? And then they're like, no, we're actually trying to land something on Mars here.
Yeah.
We don't have time for the jokes.
I just like had that intuitive sense of like, this thing I will say will be funny. I don't really know why, but I know there's like a social button I can press that will cause a reaction. But I don't really know the consequences.
You're a mad scientist.
I do like the experiment.
I love it, actually. Do your colleagues know that you're this funny?
No.
That's interesting.
Because, I mean, it's also kind of an engineering group, so everyone's a little square, a little different, which isn't a bad thing.
And pardon the stereotype. We just squared in, we just boxed in all of these engineers, but they are of a particular personality.
Yeah. Everyone's unique. Like, no one's very cookie cutter in that sense. Like, everyone's kind of square, but within that, they're all so unique. That's part of what I really enjoy. Each one has a different specialty. Each one interacts socially different. It's really fun. I know that I can push the boundary with humor sometimes, and I've been burned in the past, but also I've learned that some people might not want to have crazy jokes.
You know, believe it or not, you and I are actually similar in that way. I love comedy. I tend to find the humor, a line of humor in things, even in serious situations. But I've also learned to not necessarily share that line of humor.
Yeah.
even though to me, in my mind, I am rolling because it is so funny.
Yeah.
And I wish I could share it with someone. And I tend to look around the room to catch someone's eyes to see if they're also seeing the same thing I'm seeing. And I'm usually by myself.
You got to find someone from the military, because there's something about being in the military that teaches you when you're under a ton of stress, it's either like you either laugh or you cry. And the military is like, oh, you're going to laugh. Like, you can't cry because you got to still do your job.
How long were you in the military?
I was in the National Guard. I signed a 6-year contract. So I was in training for about a full year. And then I did National Guard, which is 1 week in a month. And then in the summer, there's also 2 weeks that you do like a full-time training. So it's like part-time soldier.
Thank you for your service, though.
Thank you.
Right?
Yeah.
It still has to be applauded. Thank you for your service. That is well appreciated. Where were you born? Where did you grow up?
Sheridan, Wyoming. Population like 10,000. Actually, I didn't know this until 2 years ago. The 10 Sleep is a really even smaller town. It's like population 100 near the Bighorn Mountains. I guess it's international quality rock climbing. Like it's top tier rock climbing there. I had no idea.
Well, now we know. What was it like growing up in Wyoming?
I was born in Sheridan, but I lived in Buffalo, which is slightly smaller. It was super chill, really relaxed, and quiet.
Almost too quiet. Any siblings?
Yeah, I have 3 older siblings.
So you're the baby of the bunch.
I'm the baby. I have a get out of jail free card.
That's why you make the jokes, because you could kind of like get away with them.
Yeah.
For the most part. Okay. How many brothers versus sisters do you have?
So it's me, my brother, and then my 2 sisters.
So your sisters are the oldest, and then your brother, and then you.
Yeah.
All right. What was it like growing up with these 3 older siblings, and you're the baby who gets away with these jokes?
When we were really young, it was a blast because we lived outside of town, so we're kind of in the boonies. And so it was just pretty much us 4 as friends and playmates. But we would always do everything together. My sister Sally was the adventurer. Well, she was the instigator. She would feed us ideas of things to do and then watch us to see what happens.
So she was a research analyst. That's all I just heard.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And then every now and then she'd do a field expedition and climb the roof. And then we're like, where's Sally? Oh, she's stuck on the roof because someone moved the ladder. But yeah, we were all very close-knit. And then as we got older, Lucinda really had the brunt of it, the oldest sibling. I don't really know what happened, but I think she was bullied pretty bad in high school. And like to the point where it was like cops had to be called, which is a big to-do in Buffalo. You know, the cops are coming. They're the one of 6,000 people. But then, yeah, Lucinda went to college, and then us 3 siblings got real involved in the church. So Sally, Wilson, and I, we like, have you seen the Jesus Camp documentary?
I have not.
Okay. It's an older documentary from like 2010, but that was our upbringing. It was like speaking in tongues, miraculous healing, all this stuff. And so that was kind of what brought us together as siblings at the time and like defined our world at that age of like preteens.
From all of those experiences, what's your favorite childhood memory?
Oh, yeah, I was thinking about this. I don't know if I have like one per se, because they all were like so happy and like carefree, you know? When I do like need like a happy thought or a happy memory, I do think of this one time I walked out into our kitchen to the smell of like pancakes and eggs and coffee. And my mom's in the kitchen making pancakes, and she makes little tiny ones for us for like baby pancakes kind of. And then my dad's at the table reading newspaper while Stardate is an old NPR radio while that's playing. So my dad's drinking coffee, reading newspaper, NPR's playing, and there's food. That's kind of happy moment.
You know you're living a life when NPR is playing.
Yeah.
Right? That's the backdrop that you're waking up to. Food, coffee, and NPR is playing in the background. That is funny at the same time, right?
It's very Seattle, I feel like.
Speaking of that, what brought you to Seattle? How did you end up here?
In 2005, I think it was, my dad took a job. He went full AGR, which is like active guard, because he was in the National Guard. And within National Guard, you train once a month, but your unit that runs all those trains and stuff have full-time workers. And so he took a job and we all moved out to Washington where he worked in like Bothell.
Who is your favorite person and why?
This is kind of hard. I kind of have a newer favorite person since I started watching women's soccer with my wife. I would say Megan Rapinoe, just because she's so comfortable being herself, but also advocating for women and just caring for other people. And she's also a really good soccer player.
Shout out to Megan. We love it. So we get advocacy, high athletic intelligence, and someone who's using their platform for social good. Shout out to Megan. Working here at facilities, you said you've been here how long now?
I think a little over 4 months.
A little over 4 months. Whether here at facilities or anywhere else that you've worked with this amazing and interesting background that you've had, how has diversity, equity, inclusion, and those type of values played a role in all of this for you?
I've worked in some pretty monoculture environments that were not very fun. It creates an air of restriction. It creates like good old boy system or something. And then when you do need change to happen, there's a lot of stagnation and resistance to change. Coming here, it's been great because there is some good diversity within our engineering department, and that leads to a lot of good conversations of like, hey, I worked at this project and I learned this thing that really helps with this current project. And just the various viewpoints coming together really facilitate efficiency and good project management.
Nice. With that being said, is there a particular mantra, a particular saying or quote, or just great advice, something that you live by that has just brought you through to where you are?
Yeah, I have a couple. I think my first and foremost from back when I was in the church is probably just sticks with me is like, just be kind, love each other. Love is patient, love is kind, and that's all that really matters. You can't really explain it any more than that. And that means to me, especially working, is to not let my feelings get in the way. If I want to do a project a certain way and someone disagrees, it's not very like loving to be like, no, you're wrong, and not listen, but to be patient, to listen to other people, whether or not I think I'm right. Be open to hearing what other people have to say and accept it as their truth and try to understand what that truth is. And then from the Army, there's a joke. My sergeant would always say there's two kinds of people in the world, the quick and the dead. And so I always tell my wife that when I steal her candy and snacks.
Got to be quicker than that.
Yeah.
You got to be quicker than that. That's awesome. What advice would you give to someone? Just looking back at your career and your life, just in general, what stands out for you as that advice you'll give to your younger self, or just what advice would you give to someone else?
Yeah, I would say that to be patient with yourself. And if you feel like things aren't working, get help. For me, especially, it took me like years to get therapy for really bad depression and self-harm. And looking back, it's like, I can't believe it took me that long because I could have done so much more. But I couldn't have gotten help unless I took that time to deal with things, to figure out like, oh, I do need help. Because not only will that make you feel better, but it'll give you the energy and space to look for better jobs, to look for what you are interested in instead of being stuck in pizza delivery. You can't really look for other jobs if you're stressed about money and stressed about dreading going to work. Like, you're not going to have any energy left. And so getting help and getting tools, learning to take care of your mental health and yourself will give you the space and energy to get to the places you want to be.
I love that. I mean, that's just facts. That's truth. And then when you add that to the part where you say to be patient with yourself, that's part of the process, right? Being patient with yourself and taking care of your mental health and letting all those things come together so that you can be the best version of yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. Let's jump into these rapid round questions. So just answer however you feel. We're going to ask Salty snacks or sweet treats?
Oh, sweet. Well, both.
Oh.
I like to put them together. Like do popcorn and then throw in some chocolate Raisinets in the same handful.
We just learned something about you today. Right? Sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise.
Handwritten notes or digital notes?
Handwritten.
Oh, you're so nostalgic. Board games or video games?
Oh, video games.
Why?
They each achieve a different result. Like board games are a much more intimate setting with friends, but video games allow a more personal experience.
Okay. So you went with the self-care, self-time there. Okay. I see what you did. Summer or winter?
Depends where you are, but probably winter.
Okay. Books or movies?
Books.
Ebook or physical book?
Oh, I would say physical because I just have never gotten into ebooks, but I know people really like them.
Okay. Sing every time you speak or dance every time you walk?
Probably dance. Have you seen Monty Python and the Ministry of Silly Walks?
No, I haven't. Tell me more.
When you have a moment, you should definitely look at it. It's silly walks are like a science, and then you have to get grants to develop them. The scene plays out where a guy comes in requesting a grant for his silly walk that he's working on. And it just is like a goofy, weird scene. And I always think of their silly walk they do whenever I think of being funny.
Jonathan's movie recommendation. That's what Monty Python?
It's a skit from the Monty Python, I think The Flying Circus.
Well, there it is. Have a rewind button or a pause button for your life?
I think theoretically I would say rewind, but I think that doesn't appreciate the lessons we've learned. I think pause is a better tool because one, it'll help us live in the now. My therapist always says anxiety is thoughts of the future, depression is thoughts of the past. And I think with a pause button, you can help focus on it.
I love it. Okay, now for a really serious question. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
I did this last night, yeah.
It's an absolute yes. This world of people who do not want to put pineapple on their pizza. I don't know. I think they should move to Mars, right? Where you have that thing that's roaming around, right? That's mapping Mars. Like they could help that. No, I'm teasing. Eat a whole lemon or eat a raw onion.
Oh, lemon. My wife teases me because I love lemons. I'll bite lemon straight up. Not the skin, but like the actual
lemon itself.
The fruit flesh.
Okay. Wow. You're different.
Yeah.
You're made different.
I probably just have scurvy.
Talk to animals or speak every language in the world?
Oh, God. Probably, that is such a hard one. Because, like, speak to people is the realistic one, because that would really be awesome. But animals would be fun. That would be really fun. I can only choose one. Probably people, because I love languages.
Okay. I think talking to people in every language is the same as talking to animals. Like, we're animals.
Right. And I was like, aren't we animals?
Live without music or live without movies?
Oh, that's funny. Live without movies.
Ooh.
Because I grew up so sheltered. I didn't listen to music. And my now wife introduced me to so many she introduced me to the Beatles. Like, I hadn't really listened to the Beatles before, Pink Floyd, all these amazing bands. So for me, music really adds to life.
So you said you would live without the movies?
Yeah, I could do without movies.
Yeah, you take the soundtrack off a movie and it's just your everyday life, right? So I'm with you on that one. Live in a world where it's always dark or always bright?
I would say probably always bright because then we can harness the energy of the sun.
I'm telling you, Jonathan, you're built different. You're built different. I love it.
Thanks.
That was our last question. Thank you for such an amazing and fun interview. Is there anything else you want to share with us before we head on out of here?
If you're applying for UW, be patient.
Be patient with yourself and be patient with UW.
Yeah. Like I think my hiring process took like 3, maybe 4 months from start to actual hire date. So worth it.
Be patient, but it's worth it. All right. Thank you, Jonathan. It was amazing having you here.
Thank you, Dr. Carter.
Thank you for joining us on another inspiring episode of the Facilitating Change podcast, where we highlight the extraordinary people behind the scenes at the University of Washington facilities. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, share, and connect with us. Remember, real change starts with the people who facilitate it. Until next time, stay inspired, stay committed, and keep facilitating change.